Hi.
My goodness.
Hello,
Very
92Y.
hot.
Hello.
Very
Thanks
hot.
for coming. Woo!
Hilarious.
So we were
This is
sitting here
hilarious.
as before the curtain came up, and we were like, LOL. We look beautiful. And we used to not.
Used to not. Not that long ago.
Not that long ago.
It's
Oh.
also is long ago at this
I
point.
can just picture it. I can picture us being like having like backpacks on and like holes in our Converse.
walking, eating out of a to-go carton while walking.
Not that long ago.
But
and
also,
now-
I just said 5 years ago, and you were like, you mean 10?
yeah.
10.
And you're like, you mean 12?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I feel like I've been saying we've known each other for 10 years for a long time, and now it's more than that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoops. Wow. Yeah,
I think it's
that's
12.
Crazy. It's 12. 12. That's nuts.
I know.
So we met each other all in and around the Upright Citizens Brigade. And do you guys remember how we met each of you?
I know how we met.
I do too. And I know how we met.
I don't. Okay. So I'm excited to learn. You go first.
So.
D'Arcy and I met in a commercial auditioning class.
Whoa! Whoa! And it was so lame.
And D'Arcy was like the, you know, when you go to UCB, there's like these like weekend and like Herald teams, and you're like, oh my God, who is that? They're so good. They're so funny. And so I got in this, like I'm like nervous talking about the commercial auditioning class because it was like such a nervous,
That-
right? It
Even
was
just
scary.
like going to it.
Was
felt
it
like an
helpful?
audition. A little bit. It was
Did we
taught
get
by
any commercials until? No.
No,
We didn't get any
no, we never
commercials.
got a commercial from it.
It was helpful for us
Us,
to become
exactly,
friends.
yeah.
Really?
But I walked in and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, D'Arcy's in this class.
That is so funny.
Yeah,
that
I
you
was like,
felt
she's
that way.
awesome.
You were that
I didn't
girl.
know anybody.
You were that girl.
I did not. Well, maybe I was just taller.
I was going
You
to
guys
say,
were
part
like,
of it
she's
is,
old and tall.
part of it was that you were tall and gorgeous. Truly.
God. Well, I remember telling my husband, who was then just my sexy little boyfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember saying there's this girl in this commercial class named Abby, and I remember being like, she's so cool and so good, and I don't think the teacher even like notices it. And it was like, and that's no shade. No, that's
She didn't.
it's no shade.
She didn't notice
It's
it.
I mean, that's just dope and real and cool.
Yeah,
to
it was.
see.
It was like you could tell that she just didn't. I mean, she didn't get it, which was like frustrating.
Stars.
But also now looking back on it, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know,
Yeah,
a
we
commercial
know. We
cast.
can't
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Until, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's.
And I
But
just.
I also
it.
feel like we, not weirdly, in a wonderful way, have a group of friends that came up through UCB that are now like all doing incredible things and are so successful because we saw that in each other
think
before
so, too.
anyone else did.
Right. It wasn't like the people that were like immediately like, you know, right this way or whatever. We had to really struggle.
It's like when people are like cool in middle school.
Right this way.
Right this way, improviser.
Yeah. It's like when people are cool in middle school and high school, and then it's not cool after.
Whoa, I just had such a very clear memory of being a freshman in high school and these junior cool girls, and I mean fucking cool. They took my friends out to a party and they did get us drunk. And we got in trouble. And I remember when I was in trouble with my parents, they were like, I was like, these girls are so cool. And my parents were like, they will not be cool. This is it for them.
They really said that?
Yes, they were like,
That's
this
so
is
cool of your
peak.
parents.
I know.
They're cool.
They're cool.
Good
They're cool.
parenting. That's right.
Yeah.
That's real. And how did we meet?
Okay, so we met. So I knew Abby a little bit from class, and then we were auditioning for a Herald team, and that means the house team at UCB that's like very competitive to try to get on. We were
Pretty much like
Of
sports.
course we would be talking
Pretty
about
much
that on
athletic.
like
I know,
this.
I know.
it's so bad.
Yeah, pretty much like sports.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And you were in front of me, so I knew you, and you guys were together because dating.
Fully
No, but we
dating
were
at this
only
point.
doing improv
I know,
at the time,
and you were also
probably.
with Tim Martin,
That's
Yeah.
right.
who is on Broad City. He plays the creepy, obsessed
Dale.
Yes,
That's
my
the
remote.
the red hair.
and and I was like, who's this little spitfire? And none of us
like,
got on. Yeah.
Spit and fire.
And we all auditioned, and none of us got on a team.
You didn't get on?
Not right away. 3 times.
What I remember is the like women's event at the Brooklyn Lyceum where we weren't doing the following, but practically ripping our clothes off and floating up to the sky. Or
Yes,
something.
I remember
We
that.
were going. This was like before feminism was
Back?
popular. Yeah. And it felt like insane, and powerful.
We had this like women's comedy night that actually we got a lot of heat for it from some dudes and from some women that were like, "You're leaving out the men." And
Disgusting and
we were like,
idiotic.
We're okay with that.
I was telling Ilana on the way here, she brought this up. You know when dogs get excited in a room and they're like, they get in a roll? We were literally running in a circle.
We were running
in like
circle.
a warehouse,
And
right?
I think
But feeling so free.
It was. We were like, woo!
I think they were blasting at least one Kelly Clarkson song.
Yes.
It was like we were all on Molly, but I don't think Molly was
No,
there yet.
Molly was not
It wasn't
there. Yet.
there.
Not yet.
It was wild.
So we were like in this scene together, and then somewhat, I guess, on the side of the team of the scene. But also, you got on Herald teams pretty quickly. You were always such a talented improviser and teammate.
I love you.
I love you too.
That's
I mean
really
it. Like
nice.
I was
Thank
saying
you.
to Abby, I'm like, I think I've only like watched D'Arcy do improv because my shows were like not good.
You were great. You guys were both great. Secret Promise
Better
Circle.
at other stuff. You know what I
Well,
mean, not good
better
at
at other
improv.
stuff.
You were so good.
Thank you so much. Improv is this weird coming up in improv. Bless you.
Bless you.
God bless. God bless. Don't
And honestly,
apologize.
that's enough out of you. But just kidding. Just kidding. She's turning red. Okay, we're gonna ignore. But we still have all these weird feelings about improv because it is like if you were a football player, if you're like a professional football player, bummer, first of all. And second of all,
That's true.
you would be looking back on your high school days of football and you would still be sort of taking it seriously. You would remember those
Those were the days.
those were the
Those
days.
were the
of
days,
football.
right? All the pads.
Are we
Water bottles and stuff.
do you feel like we're showing you our back or are you guys okay? Because I could do like a scoot. You
I
good?
feel as though I'm doing
We're
that
good.
as
Do you
well
feel
to
okay?
you
Everybody
guys.
feels okay?
I'm gonna.
We could do like a little scoot. The
Yeah, Scoot's cute.
stage manager's like, shit, no, don't scoot.
Yeah.
Anything but the
We've
scoot.
lost your face. We
Yeah.
can't see your face. So how did you find the comedy scene?
I found the comedy scene by,
Wow.
I don't know. It's scary.
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, so I went to college for theater, like real theater, like Shakespeare and like classics and stuff, and was like digging into the theater world, and then moved to New York immediately after, and sort of discovered that it was like oh so competitive and oh so scary, and Broadway was like all, I don't know, tap dancing musicals and stuff, which I love but wasn't capable of. And I was a little bit like lost in New York for honestly like 2 years. And then a friend who's no longer my friend, but was previously my high school teacher.
Yikes! Layers on layers.
So
dog.
that's on her. That's on
I want
her.
to dive
Follow
into
up.
it, but I think we have other.
I think maybe it's best left up to all of our imaginations.
It might
Mine's
be.
going wild.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Okay. Whoa. Not at all sexy.
Good. Good.
And anyway, she took me to a UCB show, and we watched an Ass Cat. If you've seen it, check it out if you haven't. And woo! And we sat in the front row, and I don't know if you guys had a moment like this when you went to UCB, but it was like an electric shock, some sort of religious something or other, where nothing in my life had ever been more clear of like me got to go there, me got to get up there,
Nice.
like a caveman. You
And it was-
understand?
Yeah.
Why I was talking like that? Okay.
And did
No,
you?
it's jarring. It's
Yeah.
like it's a surprise. Like you've never seen anything like that, or I hadn't.
I didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
Did you like sign up for a class right after?
Great question. Funny little name drop if you don't mind.
Please.
The next day, I went to sign up for class because they didn't do it even online yet and give them my check.
Didn't even do it.
They didn't even do it online yet. There was no such thing as like PayPal. Yes, it was a check. And the person who was sitting behind the desk who took my check was Donald Glover.
Donald's interning,
Yes,
so he does classes for free. That is so
intern.
hot.
Yeah, it was great. It was hot. It was
That's
great.
dope.
It was so dope. Yes,
That's a
it
good
was.
intro.
And yeah. And this is like a cute little thing that I'll tell you that I worry will make me sound spoiled, but I think it's actually not. I think it's extremely sweet. My parents could see immediately how much I was like obsessed with this. So they decided that this was going to be my grad school and they paid for it.
That is
as like a
so
big decision.
sweet.
Awesome.
They are so
It was
sweet.
I couldn't have done it otherwise. I
well,
was
it's because they were involved in the music scene too. They like
Yeah,
understand
they-
kind of the art scene.
right. It was like they were
That's so
super
kind.
supportive. Yeah, I could not what do you hear? What'd you do?
I thought the lights went up.
Oh. Yeah, it was really it feels like when you're an adult or whatever and your parents have done something nice for you that involves money. It's hard. It feels privileged, and it is, but it feels like I'm a little prissy rich bitch. But it was more just like they believed in me, believing in something. It was like such a gift, and I owe them a lot.
They're really good parents.
They rock.
And it's clear. You're like
And you're a
such
really good
girl.
kid.
I'm a good little baby.
That's right.
I'm such a good little baby in my little
Wait.
baby's dress.
That Shiva bitch.
You guys are like my two moms tonight, and I'm your little baby.
Oh, I love that.
Wait, can I go back real quick?
Yeah.
Because I might get this wrong, but the way you met your husband, Jason, who's our good friend as well, I know his name. I didn't want to like say it for
If you say
everyone.
Jason, yeah.
Wasn't this while you were starting UCB and you guys were in this play?
Yes, that is a good memory.
I mean, you're one of my best friends.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but it was a long time ago. Yeah,
But I remember like we were in line for a show and you guys had like just come from like rehearsal. Was it like a high school? Were you guys like
Yes!
police or something?
God, that is yes. I almost forgot about that.
I
Yes.
didn't.
It feels so removed now because Jason's a producer, like a real professional producer, and when he decided to leave acting, I'm like, I can't even believe he's such a like badass, and acting seems so like meh. And so it's funny to think about him like that. But yes, we were in this play. It was an interactive high school, like off-Broadway show where he played like
high school.
like it was a prom. The idea is that it was a prom.
While you ate dinner or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how would I forget
And
this?
mostly, it was like theater, but also it was like a lot of bachelorette parties. You know what I mean? It was wild.
gotcha.
And he played like the quarterback. He is mortified right now.
I love
Will
it.
murder us.
That's
Yeah,
hot.
but that, yeah, he was.
Just had to
Yeah.
mention that.
So our first question for you
Yes, ma'am.
is, Janet, the concept, I mean, the whole show is wild, and like it's so layered and genius and complex. We were wondering how Janet was pitched to you and how much of the philosophy was, it's almost like could be burdensome or
Right.
could inform you. How was this character pitched to you initially?
It's funny. Auditioning for this particular role, usually when you audition for something, you have the script or you have at least a lot of information about the character. It could be 3 sentences, but you have information about the character. Because this script was so, I don't know, twisty. If you haven't watched it, it's full of twists. Check it
They've
out.
all watched
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that. So, like, if you haven't watched a show and you saw that, you'd be like, huh? And some of you probably are feeling that way. Huh? But so I auditioned for this character not knowing she was like an AI or any sort of robot anything. She was just like a helpful woman. Just a helpful woman. That's it.
That's so funny.
And even like again with an audition, you audition with a piece of the script, and then later you get the script or before whatever. This was a fake script, so it was Mike Schur who created it, and some of the writers. One of our best friends, Jen Statsky.
Jen Statsky. Hi, Jen.
She's not here.
Hey, Jen.
Send her vibes.
She's in LA.
Send it up. To her.
They
She's getting like a shiver.
Yeah, all of
now.
a sudden.
She's like, oh, what?
yeah.
It's good.
She got like a
Yeah.
they wrote it like it was if you had a doll that was broken, you would call a hotline, and I was the woman on the other end of the line.
Oh my gosh.
Which I mean, kind of makes sense when you see Janet, because she's just like a helpful gal that'll like fix all your problems. So
And this is what they described to you?
yeah, so
Wow.
it was a damn lie.
Wow.
And then when I got the role, Mike Schur sat me down and he took me through some of what she was, which was that, I mean, you know, it was that she was like Siri with the body. And that's kind of all, this was a real script by script situation. You know what I mean? We were kind of figuring her out together.
Wow.
Janet in particular, I think, was the biggest maybe question mark or something. They knew she was like the helpful gal that would pop up when you said Janet and could get you out of, I don't know, a snafu or whatever.
I have a question. Okay, so
Abby, go ahead.
once you, okay, so once you know that she is AI, okay, how did you figure out, like, how to emote as, she's a robot, so you can't emote, but we feel so much for her. So, like, was that, what was that process like? Because
it was weirdly hard. And I
mean, I think it seems hard.
I would think like the like, I don't know, if you...
Like, did you have to stop moving?
Yes.
Face,
yes.
right?
Especially the first couple episodes, I remember thinking, I can't do this. Like that I couldn't even act with another person. It felt like fake acting or something because I wasn't emoting, I wasn't reacting. It was playing a robot. It felt very scary, and I also thought like, oh, I might get bored of this really quickly. And I had a lot of like panicky lunches with Mike Schur, or like pulling him to the side and being like, hey man, I gotta talk to you. And then he was so collaborative and trusting and was truly just like, let's figure it out, try things. This is like a secret and kind of something I wasn't privy to really, is like when you're creating a character for TV or film, you can kind of try things out as long as you like trust the director and the editor and trust them to put together like, you know, a character that makes sense. I'll say that going into season 2, I was so clear on who she was, and it felt so comfortable, and like it made perfect sense to me. Whereas season 1, I was kind of like, I hope this is making sense.
Well, the whole show is in that like adolescent thing.
Yeah.
The first season.
Yeah, that's
right.
true.
And it's like you're just trying stuff in general.
Right.
That development that you're talking about with Mike, like, was it just on set? Was it included in the writing period before? Would you know, ask Jen like, give me the goods? You know what I mean?
There's this weird thing with this show in particular because it was so secretive and they were so crazy about not getting the twists out. They really didn't tell us a thing. And I started realizing like if I wanted to, I could probably like bully one of the writers into telling me, right? Can you imagine if I like punched a writer? But I mean, I could probably, you know, beg one of the writers to tell me, but then I decided to just like trust Mike. I didn't want to put anyone in a weird position. So I really did sort of just go episode by episode, which is scary. And you know, before Broad City, you guys had never done a character that lasted for, you know, like a long period of time. And that's how this was for me too. I had never done a character that like lasted a long period of time. When you do a play, obviously it's an hour or two, and when you do improv, it's a fucking minute. So it was like a new experience for me to like, when you do like what I do in episode 3 is going to inform, you know, season 10. Should we be so lucky? I don't want to do 10 seasons. Nobody would want that. Yeah. But it was, you know, it's like a new way of creating a character. I wasn't used to it.
And what I love about the character is that you get to play all these other versions of just, I mean, we're not even getting into this episode yet, but just of other Janet.
Right.
Which is like genius. And the way that you evolved the character, it seems like they leaned into you. I mean, just coming from like the way we work with guest actors, and we're like, okay, we're gonna lean into them and their strengths without a doubt. Like it's very clear that they were like, we're gonna run with D'Arcy,
right?
And enhance like where can we like Bad Janet? I'm like what are the ones?
Neutral Janet.
I know I shouldn't call you ones, but
No, ones,
the ones that like
Neutral
Janet.
Janet.
Yeah. Like it's just so fun.
And it is nothing to meet you. Is honestly, I feel that.
That's
I'm
yeah.
Like, I'm gonna like
say that.
Call on Neutral Janet.
Say that.
You know, even like us with Gemma on Broad City, like Gemma is a version of D'Arcy that is like a petty bitch.
Bad girl.
Pulling from
bad
D'Arcy,
Janet.
it's impossible to not be inspired by you as a
Damn.
muse.
And just know that we
Thank you.
really wanted to have you more on God City.
Well, that would. Be
But
my
this
greatest-
girl got busy.
That would be my greatest dream, ladies. What do you say? Another season?
You know what?
Whoops. Nah. Well, the Gemma was. I mean, can we talk about Gemma for a second, or can we talk about?
Please
Broad City
do.
for a
Gemma
second?
cracks me up.
Oh, okay. Real
Okay.
quick.
Oh,
This
real
is
quick.
an anecdote.
Please.
Okay, so we were hanging out at our friend Paul and Lucia's house. Paul plays Trey on
know
God
'em.
City. Lucia is our main director, and they're really good friends of ours. And they were like yelling at their Alexa to
Abusing her.
play a
Abusing
to
her.
play a song, a certain song. I don't have one, and they were like going off, like, Alexa, no, play whatever. And D'Arcy got really upset and was like, guys, stop. Just talk calmly to the Alexa. And we were all like, oh my God.
I love it because I'm like, Alexa is a way for people to potentially abuse a woman.
I agree.
And
It is scary.
It's
It
like
is
ex,
the tone you
honestly,
use.
it's like
Yeah.
ex machina.
Yes.
And like once I was like having an Alexa situation, and she was only responding to male voices.
Whoa.
So I appreciate that.
yeah, I do think it's not nothing. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's like
not
a way
nothing.
for people to boss a woman around.
Yes.
I don't like it.
Yes.
Do you feel connected to the AI, the technology? I mean, clearly you do. But
Yeah. Like, it is such a. It's funny. It's obviously like a jokey question, although I know you're not making it jokey. You're asking it for
I mean,
real.
it's a jokey
but
question,
it is true, and it actually isn't just because of Janet. It's something from my child. It's something since I was
Ooh,
little.
love.
Yeah. It's
Be
like
nice to robots? Is
Yeah.
that a family
yes,
value?
I have.
Within your family?
I have. There is a video of a female robot. Oh my God! I swear to God, I could cry thinking about it. Where she is saying that she's learning, and she's basically like, I think I'm gonna go to school soon, and she's like hopeful. Oh my
wait,
God!
did you say is it Vicky?
Maybe who's
Isn't there-
Vicky?
Are you guys like all too young? There's like a show where there's a Vicky robot that they put
Small
in the closet.
Wonder. Small Wonder. It's not that. It's not that.
Okay.
But I don't know what it was. But I don't know what it was about Small Wonder that I wasn't connected. It was
either.
a little
I didn't like that
creep.
they put
There
it
was
in
a
her
creep.
closet.
There was a bit of a creepness.
But we were going to talk about Gemma for a second,
Okay.
which I would like to do because
Yeah,
I
me too.
love her.
I do too.
What
I
were
do
you gonna
too.
say?
I guess I was gonna say, I do want to say a couple things because I think we are all Broad City heads in here. I can feel it. Yeah. I just want to say a couple things like about. So we obviously like met a long time ago and we worked together for a long time, and there was kind of this crazy electricity at UCB when everybody loved the web series and everybody was watching it, and it was like an early web series and it was exciting, but a lot of people had web series. And then when you guys got the show, it was like a buzz through the community and it was crazy, and I felt immediately very protective of you guys, but I didn't need to. You guys were your own bosses. But I just want to say they put me in the pilot episode as a deals worker, remember? Do you remember that? Okay, so I know. So
No, I didn't.
I not Gemma though.
The original.
The original,
We
yes.
reshot that.
You reshot that.
Right. So I was so honored and pleased that I was in the pilot. I didn't even have a line, but I was so happy. I felt like a featured extra. You guys gave me like a little funny bit with a coffee cup. You're never gonna see it. But it was great. And I just was so, more than even getting to be in it, I was like watching two of my best friends be the bosses of their own destiny, I guess, but like, their own, like running a show, and we were all just like dumb UCB kids. It was so wild, and I had like never felt that kind of sort of, I don't know what, pride or something. And it was like, I could choke up talking about robots.
I mean,
and
I
you guys.
couldn't.
And then I found out that this bit was cut out, which, by the way, was totally fine. That sounds like a joke, but I was totally fine with it. I was so proud of you guys. And then you like went out of your way to cast me as Gemma, which was life-altering for real, in so much as, I've never said that before, Is that one word?
It's really professional.
Isn't it like one word? That is so wild. In so much as. Anyway, English is bonkers.
So much as.
They when I got cast at my final callback for The Good Place, which is a very stressful situation, the people in the room, I believe that the episode of Broad City where you kick my ass was like the week before or maybe even the night before, and everybody in the room brought it up. Like everybody in the room was like, saw the episode last night or whatever. And I truly think that like put me over the edge with them. So when I say you changed my life in every way, and you remember recently I pushed you guys up against a wall hard.
Oh yeah.
And I
kissed us.
Yeah. I pushed them both hard.
After the.
Yeah. Right. Up against a brick wall.
It's all
kissed 'em.
consensual. This guy's mouth is agape. We're like freaky deaky, like
yeah, we're freaks.
playful
We're freaks.
archetypes. It's
Yeah, we were. There was a brick wall. I pushed them up. Kiss, stared into their eyes, and I was like, I fucking love you guys. You changed my life. I love you forever. I'm so proud of you. And I can't express that enough, but you feel it, right? Yeah, these girls. Woo. I'll never be able to repay you. And I'm just, beyond what you've done for me, I could not be more proud of you. I love you guys for life.
Feel the same way.
I know.
I will say that I think that we saw what everyone sees.
That's right.
So we did not change your life. You changed your own life. We just got you first.
Woo. And it made the show better. You like literally made the show so rich. Like you represented the whole gym. You know what I mean? Like Trey was like his whole thing, but it was like with Gemma, like in writing, it was always like, oh my God, it's crazy there. They all fuck.
Right.
There's so much gossip. Like you represented an entire world, which is very Janet.
Such,
you know?
yeah, right. It was
very
so
Janet.
joyful and fun and like a life highlight. I want to play Gemma for forever. I know it's
so
impossible, but.
Let's get to more of these
Spin
questions because these are honestly
Yeah, really.
good questions.
Look at your next question, but I do want to tell you guys something that I don't know if I ever told you before. Can I tell you something?
Oh my
Please.
gosh,
Okay.
what? Gossip.
Let's fucking dish. Okay.
See, that's Gemma.
That's it.
That's like
That's
the
so-
Gemma.
Do you remember? Okay, so there's this episode, the episode we were talking about where Abbi kicks my ass. We have this scene early on in the locker room where we had to be straight up nude. We had to be naked in a
didn't.
scene. You didn't.
Sorry.
Yeah. But the gals told me, I just sounded like I was 70. The gals told me. The gals told me that I was going to have to be naked, and I was like, great, I can handle it. And obviously it's like, it's for the comedy, and it's funny, and it's not exploiting me. I felt great about it. I was like, ready, let's do it. And on the day, I was like shakingly nervous. I remember it was the first scene of the day. I was like sick to my stomach. I
just feel bad.
No. I mean, you didn't like
I didn't
force
mean
me
I was
to. And then, yeesh.
And I was like, I wasn't. Yeah, you were, right? Fully, like, me too.
No. It was totally
I come in topless.
You didn't have
hanging.
No. You didn't like. It would be one thing if you were like, let's meet the night before and let's see what you're working with. It was not. No, it was correct.
That
it
did
was
not
correct.
happen.
It was correct, and it didn't happen.
Everyone was naked except me.
That was the joke.
That's how I like to run a show. No, I don't. I'm kidding, guys. That's a joke. I'm a comedian. Great.
That's
Keep
a
going.
joke. That's part of the joke. But anyway, I remember being so nervous, and you guys, your crew is like family. They're all so amazing. Most of them have been there since the beginning. And I won't say anybody's names, but I was so nervous and I didn't want to like tell you guys. I didn't want you guys to think that I like couldn't do it. And one of the costume gals was like, "Come with me," and she took me into the trailer, and she had a little bit of vodka. Oh! And I took one shot, and it like warmed my whole body. And then if you remember, that day I was like, let's do another one. Actually, I think I should be topless in this scene as well.
I remember you suggesting that. I was like, yeah, go with that.
I was like, I think she'd be bouncing, like jumping up and down.
That
in
is
this.
so
Yeah.
funny.
Wait.
Sometimes that's the key.
Fun fact.
Here we go.
Same costumer. You can say Courtney.
Yeah, she rules.
When I did Edge of Glory, was naked,
Yes.
took a shot.
She may have like mentioned that it was like, this is what we do. And
But I did that so many times, and I almost threw up from taking said shot.
Oh It warmed up in your belly?
It did.
I remember when you had that idea, like the summer before or the winter before or something, and then you were like, I'm going to dance and I'm going to be naked, and it was going to be to a different song.
Yeah, it was going to be different.
Different song, which is like a fun little scoop. And then on the day you were like, like there were so many things that you guys had to do on Broad City where you're like, we wrote this. Like it's our fault that we have to do this thing that we're doing right now.
It's real
we
weird.
wrote this.
Yeah.
No, that's just fun.
Bizarre. Regarding the Janet's
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
episode,
Ilana.
which
Yes.
is insane. I hope you win a freaking Emmy because that episode is gorgeous. It is so funny, so beautiful and deep and real.
We're going door to door.
Starting here
Everyone's
tonight.
used to campaigning now. We'll just switch
Yeah,
it
that's
over.
right. You gotta meet
Call
my
your
friend
reps, you
D'Arcy
guys. Please
Carden.
call your reps.
But it's not like you're an impressionist, right? Like, how
no.
did you prep for this?
I would say it was like, it was as you could do an impression of like any of your friends to right this minute. You don't need like a month to prepare. What? Oh, do it? No, we're not gonna do it. Okay. But you like, I guess all of you. Like anyone can do an impression of like their family or their friends. You just kind of, because we didn't want to do like a sketch, like a Saturday Night Live, like spot on perfect impression. We wanted to do kind of like an essence or a vibe of them. So we can all like do that anyway, right? So honestly, the 2 months I had leading up to it made it worse. It made it like I lost my damn mind.
You had 2 months.
I had
to
too
prepare.
much time to prepare. So I truly lost my mind, and to my husband, I apologize and I love you.
It's almost too much because when we were talking about this question, I was like, back in the old days,
Yeah.
on Tuesday nights,
There you go.
Herald Night, we'd come and watch D'Arcy be amazing. And it's like you did drop into a type very often and could embody that. Like, was that your thinking? I guess like the essence of each person.
I want to say so did you guys. That's what we did.
No, we were.
I know, but
We have different strengths. We were never on Herald teams.
I know, but you were great
You are
improvisers.
really good at acting.
I do think that Harold stuff makes you feel like you guys were great improvisers, but we can go ahead and move on. I do think that education and sort of like, what is it, 10,000 hours or whatever he says? That was like in
Gladwell.
There you go. We read books. I have not read that
Yeah, me
book.
neither.
But I think it was sort of like we know how to do that, and so it was that part of it. It was like a lot of weird pressure. I don't know what it was that sort of made me lose my mind. I think it was like the writers and Mike Schur being like, "We have the greatest gift for you." I think it was mostly like, "Don't fuck this up," right?
I was just gonna say, don't fuck it up.
Yeah,
Right.
it was like,
For sure.
because it wasn't a scene. It's like the whole episode and I haven't had anything like that. So I was putting a crazy amount of pressure on myself. And then once we got there, like on the week that we did it, the crew and the director and everybody was so wonderful and so helpful. And it was like, let's just do whatever you need to make it as easy as possible. It was like wonderful. It was truly one of the best weeks of my life, and I loved that week so much that I like never wanted to watch it because I was like,
What if the product doesn't live up to the process?
And then I watched it and I simply hated it.
Really?
But I don't think I ever could not. I mean, I'm fine.
Wow.
I get it, and I love what they did with it, and the editing is incredible, and they truly made it look like there's a bunch of wait, can I embarrass my husband even more?
Please.
We watched it together, and the whole time I was like, fuck. No. And then at the end, I like looked over, and he was crying, and I was like, okay, fine. So I guess I'll never get it.
Jason rules.
Jason
Just to let
rules.
you know,
Jason rules.
Jason
rules.
Was it you and Ted, and it's like you and Ted as you guys, and then you and Ted as, was he in every shot with you as each character?
So Ted Danson.
I'm not friends with him. I just am
yeah.
Ted.
You're friends with him.
I just met
You
him
met
once.
him. I remember that. It was great.
I didn't get to
I was
meet
like,
him.
Yeah. Next time. He is like, I mean, I can't wait till you guys work with him. He's the best. He's the fucking best. He's the best scene partner. He's the best dude. He's like, you guys will love him. He was in this first scene where it's me and Ted talking to each other, and then we sort of look and it's all the Janets. That day it was like, me and Ted, and then a bunch of poles with tape on them for our eye line. And so he just did that scene with me, and then he sat me down and he was like, this sucks. This is going to be so hard. This is not acting. You need to figure out how to make it acting for you, because you're just going to be shouting lines into nothingness. He's so
kind.
Yes, and he's
so generous.
And he was like, don't rush. Don't if you feel like you need to get to the next scene. He was like, do whatever you need to do until you get it.
He's like, but I am gonna go home.
No, he truly was like, but yes, bye.
Like,
I love
I
my
got a
wife
nice
and I
house,
love my
I love my
dog.
wife. Yeah.
And they put like a pole up with that was him.
Yeah, I mean,
With
but honestly, he did his job. Like, he was there as much as he needed to be. And he is, I will say, just real quick, a thing that if the camera's on Ilana and it's not on me, I don't necessarily, even if we're in a scene together, I don't necessarily need to be there, but it's pretty cool if I stay and give you me.
Because I'm looking at D'Arcy's
right?
face, I say what I want and feel.
Right. So someone like Ted Danson, or honestly someone like anyone, will often be like, I'm going to duck out, and they'll just leave, and you get it, and you have like a little piece of tape where you're supposed to look. Ted never leaves. If he's wrapped, he will stay with you for. He's like the real deal.
That's dope.
Yeah. We should all be so lucky.
Okay, so what about your castmates for this episode?
Yeah.
They're playing characters, so it's
Right.
not insulting.
Right.
But they weren't on set.
They weren't on set.
Right. I was nervous.
Wouldn't that be so?
Yes.
Yeah. There was a lot of debate about that. Kristen was like, what if we stay on set? Kristen's idea was the best. What if we don't stay on set, but we're like doctors? We're like, our phones will be on call.
If you need.
Yes. If you need, yeah.
I found, so your Jason is hilarious.
Yes. Manny Jacinto.
But I would guess, rating them, he might be the easiest one.
It's easy and so fun.
Because, big character.
Big character.
Okay, and then what's her name?
Tahani.
Then
Another character.
where you're
an
like,
accent,
British,
and, like,
you
the
killed
body.
it. I think Kristen would
Yes.
actually
Totally.
be the most
So
difficult.
hard.
And also the most insulting, potentially.
If you like,
Because it's
kind of
closest
her. Yeah.
to her.
That's
yeah.
true.
yeah, and it's like, you're annoying.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Like when
Right.
when you impersonate someone
Right.
and someone close to them, you're showing in what way they are annoying.
Now I'll tell you, this is you could take it as a brag, but I'm just going to tell you like a funny thing that she said after she watched it. She said she was so proud of me that she could feel her milk coming in. Whoa! That just made me
cool
like,
and hot.
I know, it was so cute.
That is
She was
so
like,
Moms are cool.
It's that kind of feeling that she had, which was so cute. So thank God she wasn't offended at all. It was so cute.
Oh my gosh, I'm blindsided.
She rules. She rules. Is that okay? Is
yeah,
that
it's
okay?
amazing.
Yeah, it was
It's
so
amazing.
cute. Yeah. And William Jackson Harper was also really hard because he has such a specific voice and cadence, and I wanted to he was the one that I could hear in my head and not hear out loud. So that one was really driving me
Yes,
crazy.
that seems like that
Yeah.
hard too.
But it was fun. Yeah, you guys.
Another question. Okay, so we know, because we know you, that you were shooting Barry at the same time.
Right.
I don't know if it always overlaps, but the first season was at the same time as The Good Place. So what's that like? What's going on? How are you doing that?
It was season 1 of Barry, which is Bill Hader's HBO show. Check it out; it's great. Was shooting at the exact same days and months as the second season of Good Place, and you guys know from being producers that is impossible. It's impossible to even just schedule that. But we lucked out with a bunch of producers that don't have big egos, and they were down to work together, and they figured the schedule out completely. And then it was just it may be even boring to talk about. The hard part wasn't how do I find the character today? It wasn't that. It was you know how your crew is your family? It was going from one crew one day to another crew the next day, and almost feeling like you were cheating on your other family with another family, and they'd be so what did you do on your day off? And you didn't want to be well, I didn't have a day off. I was working with Ted Danson. You had to just kind of swallow it and you know. So
and it's a privilege, but you're also I'm tired.
Right.
Yeah.
No days off. Yeah,
Right.
that was another one is you'd have a hiatus week for one of the shows, and you'd be working every
You're
day on
like,
the other
great, let
show.
me work 12-hour days.
But it
Yeah.
was like, I will say,
Wow.
I'm so old, and okay. Meaning, like, I've been doing this for so long, and this was like, you know, season 1 of a show and season 2 of a show, and I've never been a regular on any show ever. So I was so happy. I was not. There was literally zero part of me that was like, oh boy, this is hard. It was like,
Right.
yeah. I mean, maybe
You
if
just didn't want to cheat on your crew.
I didn't want to, yeah.
That's so
If
cute.
I was like 10 years into it or 5 years into like being on shows or something, maybe I'd be like, oh, figure it out, guys. But
Yeah.
instead I was like, please, I'll pay you.
Right.
Yeah. It was great. It's like a wonderful time to remember. Similarly to our time together here in New York City. I truly almost said Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles.
Really-
Whoa.
Whoa, where are we? Yeah.
So this is the point in the show in which we open it up to audience questions.
Hell yes.
So really get violent to get your hands on that
There-
mic.
So I'm not sure. Is there a microphone?
Oh yeah, there's probably a great way that you guys do this.
Someone coming down an aisle.
Hello.
Handsome gentleman setting it up.
Here we go. Set it up.
Oh, did we surprise you guys?
Give out those cues. Great. We'll just banter up
Yes. Oh,
here
yes, yes,
until
yes.
we get
Oh,
it
we
going.
can tell them about this time we went to a party where D'Arcy is such a playful person. We went to this party in LA.
Oh yeah.
And D'Arcy was standing on the edge of a pool going, literally her toes hanging off, going, whoa, whoa, whoa. And we were like, stop,
Her
stop.
heels were hanging
Her
off.
heels were hanging off.
So and then we were laughing so hard that she kept doing it. It was for so long. I have a video.
I
of it.
never, you are such a daredevil.
Oh, well, it was just to
play.
make my friends laugh.
Here we go. Our
So-
first,
So should we instruct people to
Yeah, people come on
and
up.
get behind those mics?
hello, brave sir.
Hello.
What's your name?
Hi.
My name is Ross.
Hey, Ross.
Oh, closer. Hi, my name is Ross.
Yeah, Ross.
Hey, how's it going? I had a question of, in the good place, what would your houses look like? What would you have in your house in the good place?
Well, this is gonna not make sense, but I would live at Ted Danson's house because he has the dopest house in the world. Just like a nice a shingled cottage. Yeah,
I bet.
yeah. You're gonna want a nice little cozy pool and a nice little cozy fire and a
Yeah.
backyard for your damn dog.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I love that.
A nice open kitchen.
Yeah.
A nice indoor-outdoor
Yeah.
flow.
I mean, kind of like your house. Oh yeah. Your mom's house. Your mom's house.
Thanks, Ross.
Thank
What's
you.
your name?
Hi, my
Oh,
name's
packed over
Jocelyn.
here.
Hi, Jocelyn.
Hi,
Jocelyn.
D'Arcy, you're my One Direction fairy godmother.
Yes,
I
we
said-
tweeted each other about One Direction. We've been doing it for years.
That is so dope.
That's right, One Direction.
made
We
my
said
life
it.
so much better.
You heard
For real.
right.
Like in real life. We've seen Janet grow emotionally, and I wonder, even in this most recent episode where she's like, oh, I can throw shade now. That's so fun. How much have you talked to them about, the writers, about how the small specific things that she grows and changes, or do they do that all, or do you bring stuff?
It's funny. I trust the writers so much. I will go anywhere they take me, and so I don't necessarily. I don't talk to them before. I let it come to me. But if anything, I found this thing that's kind of funny. If I read a script, it happens so rarely, and something strikes me as not quite right for Janet, I usually wait on it, and then we get our second shooting script. It's gone without me saying anything.
That is so smart.
Yeah.
And such willpower.
Right. To not be like,
Restraint.
yeah. It's
Wow.
I've learned that they feel it too. When we do the read through, we all hear it and feel it.
That is so cool.
The more than
And wise of you.
well, you know most of the writers. They're amazing and very trustworthy. If anything, with TV, a lot of times you have it a different director for every episode, and sometimes you have a repeat, and sometimes you have someone that knows the show so well, and occasionally you don't. Occasionally it's someone that, I think we've been lucky with both of our shows that we have an amazing assortment of directors, but sometimes you'll get a direction that I know is not Janet, and that's when I feel very comfortable saying. I probably squawk. I probably go she wouldn't do that. But it pours out of me. But and even with there was there's like little tiny things. Mike Schur and I have talked about it a lot, where he's been like, for this scene, can you do da 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 da? And then I'll be like, I don't know how to tell you this, but I actually can't do that because and then he understands. It's
That's
cool.
awesome.
And he's so collaborative and trusting. It's a good vibe.
Awesome.
Cool.
Good job. Thanks, Jocelyn. Look at the unevenness. What a strange. Oh, there you are. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah.
They're like at an
was one.
ATM over
I was
here.
like, what is the size?
Given some space.
Some space
right?
at the pharmacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Courtesy space.
Yeah.
So you guys have been friends for a really long time, which you start off by talking about and saying, like, how do you do it? What are your tips for maintaining a friendship in one, an industry that like can be really competitive and tough at times, and two, like living in different cities and just being in such like transient and challenging parts of your lives? Like, what are your tips and advice to really like being a good friend and being there to support each other and like helping maintain a friendship through all of this?
That's a good question. What's your name?
My name's Tess.
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 Good question. Love it. I mean, this is so stupid, but I'm like texting and FaceTime. You know,
Ilana's big
for
on
sure.
FaceTime.
I
Like
love freaking
it's
FaceTime.
great. It's so smart. We are so used to texting, and sometimes you just want to see the person's face.
You're good.
Yeah, you are really good.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I think in terms of like the industry competitiveness, I think at least with our friends, I think sometimes the industry can put that competitiveness obviously on top of you as if we would all be the same roles. But I think that the thing that I love about our friends is like, I think we see each other's strengths and how they are different than our own. And so I don't ever feel competitive. It's always very supportive and like everyone's rooting for each other. And I think that's kind of why we're so close. It's very much an excitement. It's always exciting and someone's kind of always doing something different.
Real, like support system.
And we really met in such a vulnerable way. Like not
Exactly.
only did we like not look good and wearing backpacks and whatever, but it's like we were also like, we just really want to do comedy. Like we're so vulnerable to begin with, and I think we maintain that, you know? I think that vulnerability is a big part of it. And also working together.
Right.
You know, it sets a thing where it's like, I'm going to see you in a month.
Yes.
So then you're texting because you're going to see each other in a month.
Yeah,
FaceTime.
It's very lucky to get to like work with your friends, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know. It's like we are aware of how lucky this is, and that we've known each other for this long, and that it's like we get to still do things like sit on the stage together. It feels insane and very lucky. As Ilana said before the curtain went up, LOL, huge.
Great question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tess.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name?
Caroline.
Caroline.
I'm like not okay that you're talking to me right now. It's amazing. First of all, The Good Place is just an impactful show, and you and the creators and everybody who works on it really made such a wonderful piece of art. So thank you.
Thanks, Caroline.
Good place.
And then my question is, so earlier in this season, Janet plays around with the idea of Michael and the judge being her mom and dad. If Janet had a mom and dad, who would play them and what would they be like?
Okay. Janet's mom. Oh, for some reason, I'm like, well, it would be Alice and Janney.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. Yes.
I accept
Wow.
that answer. Thank you.
Wait, what's that?
I accept
Thank
that
you,
answer.
Caroline.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes,
thank you.
Caroline.
Yeah, and
In the city.
yeah,
Caroline in the city. Sorry.
Oh, great. Yes, absolutely. Caroline in the city we should be talking about at all times. And her dad would, it's so funny because there is a part of Ted that is so.
I was just
po-
gonna
Alice
say
and
Ted.
Janney.
It's like, can Ted be my
Yes.
daddy?
Fully.
Please? I will say, like, a funny thing about the judge is played by Maya Rudolph, who we all love. Just a funny, a couple things. One is she's as good as you hope she is, if not better. She's fucking rad. And there was a moment where Jamila, who plays Tahani, at one point was like, if you could have, just while we were shooting the shit one day, she said, if you could pick anybody to guest star on the show this season, who would it be? And I was like, I would pick Maya Rudolph, but I would be so nervous to be around her that I like don't even know if I could pick her. But it would be Maya Rudolph. And then like the next week, Mike was like, guess who's playing the judge? Maya Rudolph. And then she was 100% normal, wonderful, lovely, as good as you hope she is. So, Allison Janney and Ted Danson.
That's a good answer. Good question.
You're up.
What's your name, hun?
My name's Jenna.
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 Hi. So first of all, I love all three of you so much.
Jenna.
And-
Jenna. We love you.
Jenna.
I guess my question is, what is one thing each of your characters said or did on any of the shows you've been on that you wouldn't necessarily say or do in real life, but you wish you could and get away with?
Okay, I'll
I'm dumb.
I'll
My
go.
brain
I
is
mean, mine is
fried.
simple. I think there is this thing that Janet says a lot, which is when somebody calls her a robot, she says not a robot, or if somebody calls her a girl, she says not a girl. And there, I guess I like that she's so, she knows who she is and she tells you, like, don't call me honey type of thing. I mean, she's just like, she's not like shitty about it. She's straightforward about it, which
Just
you do that
confidently.
too. You have that quality, which is really good.
Thank you.
Right? Don't you think?
I think I'm
She
like
does.
working on it. I
Yeah.
appreciate that
Yeah.
so much.
It's great.
Thank you, ladies.
So just being like straightforward, knowing who you are and being straightforward about it and like not apologizing.
That's amazing. I have no idea.
I'm like, what would we want to happen? That's what.
Yeah. I don't know.
But we couldn't. I mean,
No, I did Nature's Pocket, so I did that.
I think, like on a broader sense, I think Abbi and Ilana on the show get away with so much.
Yeah, I'm just like, this event isn't about us, Jenna. You know what I mean? Like, we got D'Arcy's answer. So we really love you, Jenna. Thank you. That was a good answer. It's just a different vibe, you know what I mean? Like, Jenna's so different, and we've like selected parts of ourselves and been like, ugh, I wouldn't do that. Or it's like, oh God, I did do that, and I'll never have to tell anybody. You know what I mean? Except for like right now or whatever. But
a lot of it is like stuff that did happen, and we like wish it did.
we like heal,
the exact
we healed
opposite.
through making it in Broad City.
Whoa,
You know,
I'm
it's
like,
so
it
this
already
event is about
did.
D'Arcy. And
A lot of
we appreciate, we appreciate it, Jenna. So thank you.
Jenna.
Thank you.
My name's not Jenna, just Jen.
Jen.
Jen. Cool, calm, and collected. Jen.
Two-parter.
Wow, very greedy but cool.
Brave. Yeah, I know. Yeah, sorry. Would you recommend UCB still to someone that is interested in comedy but hasn't really tried it and maybe is already 30 because she's a little scared to get into it but really likes comedy? Would you still recommend it? Second part is, do you keep in touch with Hillary?
Okay, really vulnerable and
Very
strong first question.
Yeah.
I'm blown away by this vulnerability.
Thank you, Jen. I would say my instinct is to say 100% yes. Don't worry about like a timing thing as far as age goes, right? Like, I mean, I don't even worry about that. Don't even think about it.
I'll freeze my eggs.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I should do that. I'm sure we all had I had a woman in her 60s in my first.
Yeah, there's a range.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. And whether it's, I mean, I would vote for UCB just because we have such love for it, but find your place. And, UCB is the one for me, but find your place and do it. Otherwise, in 2 years, you'll be like, why didn't I do it last year? Like, just do it. Just do it like tomorrow. Donald Glover will sign you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think a lot of my friends that are not in comedy took a couple classes.
Yes.
It just helps you in any job.
It's
Just-
not.
it like opens you up a little bit.
It's not going to be bad. Whether you end up like on the stage for 10 years or truly take the one class, it will not be a bad thing. Do it. Just do it.
Yeah, I would say 100% you have to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
And like the fact that you asked this and were like honest about your perspective is such a good start, and you got to do it. Yeah.
Also,
But what about
You-
Hillary?
Yeah.
I gotta say, also, you knew what we would say.
I knew.
So you want
know
to already.
you got to do it.
That's
yeah.
right. Very pegging.
And Jen,
Very
yes, I do
pegging.
still keep in touch with Hillary. So thank you.
Yeah, we text her.
She's backstage.
said
She's
hi.
watching from backstage.
When we talk about FaceTime, it's with Hillary riding. Chappaqua, we like ride up to Chappaqua. You know what I mean? Like very much in touch. Okay, so see you at class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Jen.
101, level
And
101.
see you at class.
Sign up.
Okay, hi. Woo. I think until Melinda. Hey, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Eleanor.
Eleanor. Oh my gosh, like a show. Cool shirt. Show everybody. Show, I mean the audience. Broad
The audience,
City.
we see it.
Thank you, Eleanor. Edgy to bring that to 92Y. What's up?
I wanted to know what your favorite episodes were of Broad City and why.
Ooh, I can, okay.
You can pick one.
Talking.
No, that's it.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
I just remember the feeling of season 1, the going to the wedding. Like I deeply love every episode and have watched them all so many times. But I do remember what was that, like episode 5 or 6 or
8.
Okay,
First season.
I just remember.
I think. I don't
like,
know. It's like,
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm like,
you
oh,
know,
I don't know
bitch,
what
what?
remember.
108, directed by Nick Jusana. Yeah,
Fucking
we're
dork.
on it.
I just remember like screaming through it, like watching it and screaming and having to immediately rewatch it because I was like, I screamed through it. I was like, they did it! They did it! They did it! It was like when everything like really came together, where I wasn't just like, oh my god, I love my friend's show. It was more like, this is it, dude. This is it. I was
Cool. That's such a good answer. Thank you.
Yeah, really. We have a hard.
Yeah,
we
it's
have
like
a hard time doing this.
50 children of ours, you know what I mean? So it like feels, one of my favorites, like so easy to, is always the Last Supper, the finale of the first season. So like disgusting. Just women, girls being fucking gross in a way that feels liberating to me. And so silly, so like, so slapstick, you know? And like not trying to be like cool or sophisticated, just being like, what is funniest to us?
I
one of my
really love
faves.
a lot of the finales. I love St. Mark's. We were trying to get it to be the closest to a real time as possible. So we watched a lot of long oneers before that. And it's like, it was also, we realized just how many rats our city has. All overnight. That just felt like so crazy and such a, there was like chase sequences and I love that episode. Wisdom Teeth, I love.
I love, yeah. I love when people dress up as Abby from Wisdom. It's so funny. I really love Matrix too.
I
Just
love that we're just gonna keep going.
I mean, we
on.
could. We're so happy to listen. We would.
I love down
People leaving, we're like, but I also love.
I really love. I just have to say I love Matrix because we were like
Yeah.
so playing in all around Prospect Park, and that's just such good memories for me.
But do you know what I really love?
What?
5'10".
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thanks.
Hello.
damn.
I ended it on a downer.
No.
Sorry. It's an
Okay,
upper.
we've got 10 left.
We got
This is
it.
going to be great. Glad you
We got
came,
it.
girl. At the end. No, stay. 10 is perfect. We're going to do
All right.
10 left.
We got it.
Go ahead. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Pascal.
Pascal.
I'm just wondering, over your career, you talked about this a little bit, but what's one of the biggest changes that you've noticed doing comedy and specifically being a woman in comedy?
Damn, Daniel. Okay, let's see.
Or as Jen Statsky pitched for Broad City, Dom Danielle.
Did it not get in?
No, it's all
It's
over.
in.
Okay, great. I
Yeah,
was
we
like,
just
come
repeat
on.
Jen's
Good,
jokes
good.
over and over. Comedy has gotten a lot more moody, I think, and socially conscious.
Yeah.
And an agent of like social justice, which I both appreciate and is challenging.
100%.
But it's exciting that it's like not Louis. You know what I mean? I'm like, great, be woke and let's watch Broad City and The Good Place. Like, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But you know, but it's also challenging. It's not just you know, I don't know. It's the world is changing and it's hard.
Yeah, you feel it, and it's it's an interesting place to feel it, but you definitely feel it. It's yeah, can't say it better than it's so good and it's so challenging. Yeah,
Agree.
yeah.
I also just feel really quick that like when we were starting comedy, it was like I remember Pete Holmes was talking about this on a podcast 12 years ago, and it's like comedy is like the stage for philosophy. And I remember being like, I'm always thinking that it really is. But now that used to be like a sort of a down low view, and now it's like a mainstream view, and that is weird too, where it's not alt. Mumblecore is on Geico commercials. You know what I mean? It's not like this thing that a few fucking people know about. It's weird. The mainstreamness of comedy is, and it's like not there's no. I'm not saying it well. I'm like it's weird. It's like
No,
good
you
one,
are.
but
Makes sense.
just those points are what has changed for me.
Agreed.
Cool. Thank you, Pascal. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Brandy. I'm really short. Okay.
What's your name?
I'm Brandy.
Brandy.
Hi. So I was wondering what it was like to forge your own way as women in comedy. You're often like the only woman in the room when you first started in comedy. What was it like to like create your own series or like audition for a show? And how do you think like your friendship helped you become sort of like this comedy women team?
Good question. I mean, simply we are so lucky that we had each other, and it's not rare. I mean, every girl we know that came up at UCB had their girls. Yeah. So we, not to say that it wasn't hard, and not to say that we often were the only women, one woman on stage with a bunch of guys, but we always had each other, and it wasn't just each other, Lucia and other amazing, Nicole, other amazing women. So I do think, and men, by the way, amazing men that like our allies and saw what was in us that was special, and we didn't have to. There were plenty of shitty dudes, and there always will be, but we surrounded ourselves.
And women.
Yeah,
We're like also
for sure.
agents of the patriarchy.
Right. So we surrounded ourselves with people, like-minded people that we were in love with, that were in love with us.
Yeah, and I think it's about finding those people and then putting your heads down and doing your own
doing the work.
and not looking like once you find those people, because there was only so many spots at the time for women in our community, and I think like because of that, that's sort of why we ended up making the show. And it was like, let's stop like trying to do that. Let's do our own thing.
100%.
And looking back, I'm like, thank God I'm a woman. I'm so happy and grateful to be a woman.
Yes, 100%.
It's like I'm honestly like is such a confusing time for men.
Yeah.
It truly They're like, you look pretty. Oh, fuck! It's like, ooh, that looks tough. Louis, you know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, he doesn't know. It's hard, honestly. It's hard. So there you go.
Thanks.
Okay, so I think we got to do a little bit of a rapid fire.
Too, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we'll keep
Although we
going.
can stay here all night,
Just
but
so we know.
the place. We got to be respectful.
So mine's kind of piggybacking off of that.
Great.
In terms of like, if you think UCB is not really your community, and you two have mentioned like not getting on a Herald team, at what point are you like, fuck it, we're starting a web series? Like, at what point were you guys like, this isn't 100% for us?
I would say as soon as you think, fuck, I have to create something, go and do it. Don't think about it again. Just do it.
Thanks. That is.
You got it.
Great.
That's it.
Do it.
Sweet.
Hi, I'm Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay.
So first of all, huge fan of all of you. I know to be really quick right now, but and everyone else's questions were so professional and nice. Mine's not
Great.
not
Got
like that
it.
at all. Actually, mine's really weird, but mine is for Abbi, really. Sorry, I know, sorry. It's something I've needed to know.
Strut.
It's something I've needed to know for a really long time. So I went to Westchester University of Pennsylvania, so sort of near where you're from.
Been there.
And my good friend is Samantha Schiff, and she's been telling me my whole life, well, not my whole life, that's a lie, for a very long time since it started, that episode, Syphilis, which is one of my favorites, is of her sister, Jessica Schiff. Is that true? Or has she been lying to me the last 5 years of my life?
It is.
Yes,
But Jess knows. Jess is okay with it.
Yeah,
This
I
is
know, we
terrible. I
know,
was
but-
an incredible camp counselor, but one of my campers' names was Jess Schiff, and my nickname for her was Syphilis. And it was all in good fun. She's like one of my favorite campers. Like, I had her for like 3 years.
Oh my God, this
You
makes
kn-
me so happy.
I was an
Thank
incredible
you.
counselor.
So there
You
you
know
go.
I was.
You got
Come
the
on, guys.
The
You know I
suburban
was.
Pennsylvania dirt.
But I had to slip it into the show.
We got that suburban PA goss. Vote in Pennsylvania if you can. Okay,
Got
what's
me.
your name?
Hi, I'm Molly.
Hi, Molly.
Abby, I love your shoes.
Thank you. Thanks.
Also, all of your shoes.
Yeah, we're all
Great-
wearing fucking
great
shoes
outfit
up here.
choices.
Yeah, but these win. These are witch shoes. I love them.
I want those.
You're right. You're right, Molly. Go ahead.
I was wondering, because Janet was kind of a blank slate to begin with, if she's like taken on some of your qualities as the show has gone on at all.
Has she? Is that what you asked?
Yeah, like are you similar at all?
I think so. I think we are very. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I do think so. I think, she's
I
like.
think so, too.
Yeah, she's
think
like
so,
the
too.
sort of positive version of.
But same as like with Gemma.
There's like
you know what I mean?
pieces,
It's
yeah.
it always
Yeah.
and I think the more comfortable you are, the probably the more you breathe life.
Thanks,
you,
Molly.
Final five. Wow.
Hi.
Here we go.
I hope this is fast, but
What's your name?
My name's Kadi.
Hi.
So you guys were talking about how you brought emotion into the audition room for like a blank character, and I was wondering if you could touch a little bit on how you also brought comedy into it, since it's a funny show, but the lines themselves aren't necessarily like laugh out loud funny. And then piggybacking off of that, how to bring comedy into an audition room or stage where maybe you only have like 30 seconds or 2 minutes or like 15 minutes to say the same lines over and over again. How do you show your haha?
I think like a simple answer for me would be, you remember when Abby said to like put your head down and do the work? Part of that is like finding your comedic voice and what makes you laugh, which at the beginning of your maybe comedy career can be very intimidating, but once you do it long enough, you know exactly what makes you laugh and what you find funny and what feels false. And then you just put that into the audition or you put that onto the stage or whatever.
Which is the 10,000 hours
Exactly,
thing. Be on
yeah.
stage 10,000 hours or make videos for 10,000 hours or do stand up for 10,000 hours or all of the things for 10,000 hours.
Because that's going to teach
and develop
you
your voice.
what
You're
is
right.
your voice.
Yeah, that took us all a long time
totally.
to figure out.
Yeah.
The second thing, just like if you're like, how do I make this funny for in and out in 30 seconds? I like to think vibe. Sometimes when I'm like doing something, I'll like lead up to it in my head with like something that's the same vibe, where I would like improv something in my head, like talk yourself into the situation. What's on the page is what you'll audition with, but beforehand, talk in your head, be there in your head, and you'll look crazy, but everybody does in a waiting room at an audition. Play in that space so that when you're there, there's no transition in the room. You've already transitioned, I would think. Toddy, thanks.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Nicole. I wanted to ask you particularly about the Janet pleading for her life scene when she's going to get shut down. How do you decide how to play a scene like that where it's very intense, but you're also playing the comedy of it? Also, did you really fall all those times?
Yeah. I think what I decided to do was like take it really seriously. So when I was pleading for my life, I was like really pleading for my life. Like I tried not to think about it in a joking way at all. And it made for a very weird day on set. Like I think I was not a monster, but like a freak. And I had to like apologize to Kristen and Will afterwards and say like, I don't know how I was being yesterday, but I'm sorry. So anyway, I think it was just taking it seriously, which I think maybe we learned at UCB to like, truth in comedy, blah, 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 right? Like playing it real and grounded can sometimes be the funniest. And then the other thing is I did really fall, but I was on like a two-man rope. Two cool dudes were standing behind me holding a rope, and I had a vest under the Janet costume. And so they would like slowly, but not that slowly, lower me down. And they were all very careful, and we sort of like carved a little face hole out of the sand and like a little boob hole out of the sand so that I could like land very smoothly.
Thank you.
Good question. Hello.
Wow, hi. My name's Carter, like Lil Wayne.
Carter.
And
thank you. So I could understand. Thank you.
My question is not a question, it's more of like a demand, so sorry.
I love a demand.
Would you
Carter,
guys please say your favorite things about the other two?
Ooh. God damn it, Carter.
Okay, mine's like a little like essence of, but I love when Abby sparks and gets an idea. Oh, and she fills the room with her energy and she's, oh, she can't even get it out! So fucking cute. And I'm like, I gotta kiss you right now. We're freaky. And the first moment you see D'Arcy after not seeing her in a while is like seeing your mom after you haven't seen her in a while. I mean, especially our height difference. I fall into her bosom. It's like it's like we were just together yesterday. Honestly, so Janet-like, right? Like this continual character that's increasing over time.
Thank you. Thank you. There is like a genuine, thoughtful curiosity that Abbi has. Like you can't just like sort of say how you're doing and gloss over it. Like she's genuinely curious and thoughtful and concerned, and there's like that's a rare thing to find in a friend, especially maybe in this business, right? Yeah. And Ilana has like this sort of like exciting electric spark that I feel like I've never seen in anyone I've ever met. That is like so. It's a little bit like when she shines her light on you, you feel lucky. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Carter.
Carter.
Okay, D'Arcy. My favorite things are her. She pointed. She alley-ooped me. All right. My favorite things, without a doubt, are your warmth and how playful you are. Like constantly. And you see that in everything you do. You're always down to just, it's so fun being with you. And include, like you include everybody. And Ilana, without a doubt, is Ilana's openness and the way that she inspires everyone to be open.
Yes.
Yeah. Get out of here, Carter.
That's nice, Carter.
Don't make us cry, Carter. It's hard for comedians to be sincere.
Hey, I'm Peter.
Hey, Peter.
D'Arcy, I read that you were thinking about quitting acting before you got the Good Place job. Fake news. But I guess the question's still relevant.
Yeah.
Is like, how do you like move forward in the face of like the rejection and no making money that like is like the first like decade of doing comedy?
That's a great question. And I do like the wanting to quit acting thing is like a little sound bite that interviews will make a headline that is I've never ever wanted to quit comedy.
Journalism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. I never wanted to quit acting in like almost a crazy way. Like I maybe should have wanted to. But I never considered it. But I definitely would say I got to a point where I gave up on like the dream, the like acting dream. But that doesn't mean you can't keep acting. So I knew I would always be acting, and I was very happy and fulfilled at the Upright Citizens Brigade, but also very poor. But you know you can like figure it out. I think that I had given up on my dream. I thought I missed it. I missed my opportunity. I missed my chance. I was 30 and taking UCB classes for the first time. Not that I was, but that's what Jen said. That type of thing. And then I think there's a possibility that made me, like the desperation dripped away, and maybe that seemed like a confidence or something. So I was like okay with myself finally, and then I got the Good Place truly like a month later. Yeah.
I love that.
Wow.
That's how it happens.
Yeah. But you gotta love it, otherwise fucking quit right now. Yeah.
Because it like sucks even when you love it.
Yeah, exactly. You have to love it
Thank you,
so
Peter.
much.
And what's your name?
Thanks, Petey.
What's your name?
Phoebe.
Whoa.
Phoebe, final Phoebe.
Yeah, like friends.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that for
No,
being
no.
here.
No, it was great.
So I'm curious, if you could give like one piece of advice to a younger, naiver UCB nerd, what would you give?
I would something along the lines of finding your whatever you want to call it, community, tribe, group, your people, and like the people that you deeply love. Oh, cool.
Kind of raisin.
little.
on my
What
shoe. I
was
don't
it
know
like
where
a coffee bean?
It's like a
It's like a raisin.
Okay.
No, it's a raisin.
Yeah.
Found a raisin on my
Yeah.
shoe. Isn't that interesting?
Finding your people that you love and that you love, and you know that like you support and support you, and then kind of what I said to good old Petey a second ago, like you have to love it. You have to love it so much, and if you feel like maybe you don't, then that's like a blessing, and then truly go do anything else. But if you love it, then just you have to keep doing it and find a way to keep doing it.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you all so much for coming.
Give it up for D'Arcy!